Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to WX Live. Today is Friday, July the 31st, 2015, and today we have webinar number 158. It's Andy Stapleton. He's going to be discussing consuming external XML documents and XSD definitions. It sounds pretty interesting, so it's all yours, Andy.
Okay, with all the technical garbage there, let's say good morning. How's everybody doing? One of the things I got into is quite a bit of XML processing, and one method or one of the items that come in XML is it can be an XSD document. That XSD is basically the data definitions of the XML that you're fixing to have to deal with. Now, there's two ways you get that. One is you can get a totally separate document that's nothing but XSD, or you can get a combination of the both of them, which allows you to, not only see the definition, but also the data that comes with it. I got one of these a couple of weeks ago, helping out, and found some interesting tidbits in working with it that I figure we need to share out and let other people see. These are some of the advanced features of WinDev that I think everybody should take a look at if they have to deal with XML in any way. My preference, 100 ways to a dozen, is that any data that I get or send to anybody else, it is much better to do it as an XML document rather than the old EDI style documents, because EDI, for a standard, was about as standard as Jello. So the XML document is so much easier to deal with as you can add in data types, you can add in more columns on the fly, in essence. And when it comes back to you, especially if you're using like MS SQL, you can actually do a select statement against it if you know how to do that. And as far as working with WinDev with it, it is pretty close to being a breeze. Okay, especially if you have the XSD document. Okay, so let's first look at the XSD in the first place, the file that was retrieved here, and see what we've got. Basically, let me minimize some of these areas here. Need to zoom in?
Zoom that up just to shade if you can, please. I know it may be difficult. Oh, it looks so much better. Thank you.
Well, I'm trying to see it on the screen too up here, and it looked pretty good to me, but that's right. I'm not 10,000 miles away. So basically what is that there's two major sections of the XSD document. One is the schema, and the other one is the actual data. So I'm going to minimize the both of them. You can see how that is. So I've got product table, which is the actual data part of this, and then I have the schema. Schema is the new ID, and this is what I'm going to be looking at first. So I'm getting this XML document, and I notice that there's a schema set up at the top which says this is the definitions of everything there, and what it gives me is in essence the definition that there's an ID there, a pack ID, an item ID, a type, and a quantity. If I go down, there's other ones in there where they have the different types and what the definitions are of each one of them. If you have the XSD, which is the data definition of this makes it much easier to deal with in WinDev. So once I have this XML document, all I have to do in WinDev is turn around and come over here to the right-hand side of the product where I have the XSD, XML, and XSD descriptions. Yes, you can import an XML document in there and use it, but remember, it can't change once you're in here. The XSD actually makes it a little bit easier because you can always refresh it from the latest document. So when you right mouse click, I can import into the document. I come up there, I find the document that I need to import through my code. I bring it in, and boom, I now have my document which has each one of the areas is in there. Now this document actually has, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 16 different tables inside the same document, or the same XML document. So there's actually data for 15 or 16 different tables in here with multiple records on each one of them. Here's where things start getting a little cool. All this is pretty much straightforward. Now you want to say, well, how do I use this? Can I use it? You know, what makes the difference in life type thing. Researching this, if you look in the help file at the XML documents, you'll find that there's a couple of there's a couple of little features in there that will help you. One is a description. And this description allows you to point, in essence, instead of the document itself, but point to the definition that you have over here and says, okay, when you bring this up, this is what I want to use. And then I open it from the file, and the description XML says, okay, go get the description of this, and let's use it. I'm going to try to find that in the help file. From there, I expanded and used the description from the XML nodes for each one of them. Okay, so if I hit F1 on XML node, let's see if I can bring that down here and let you see what we're doing here. Right here is what we're talking about. Okay, as the XML node can be declared by specifying a template node or the node in the XSD file. This is where the import comes in and makes things really nice, just because by saying this is the variable, is the XML node, and the description is the path or the area inside the document. Okay, so now that is what I'm doing here. I'm saying the description is I've got that in the LMA data, which is the file, the new data set, which is here, and this is the product table, which is right there. Okay, and that's what I did. So I defined each one of those as a record structure for me to work with. That's all I did, is every one of those nodes. Now, if you don't use them all, you just ignore the ones you don't want to use, and you don't have to worry about it. I did them all just to show how it's done and what you need to do from there. From that point forward, all it is a for each loop of every one of them. Here comes the cool part. Again, because of the XML document and the way that is referenced here, if I want the customer record of that data set, remember I'm going for the new data set here, and then I do an on clause. The on clause says on the customer table. So I'm only going to get the records that are listed here in the customer table. So that XML document that's being consumed now, okay, when it's being sucked into this thing, is going to give me, in essence, a memory array of the records in that XML document of everything dealing with the customer table itself. And I can do a for each customer record of each one of them, run through it, and then go custrec. I want the bill address. And I can say my local table, my local dot bill address equals, and I can run it normally from there. And everything will be fine. So if I want to do this, now have not only that, but I also have my normal files down here. And I can come into my customer file, declare the customer record. Now, since I use classes, everything's going to be a little different. So I have customer there, but if let's do this as HAD, you know, just kind of see there. So there's, I've got a customer record right there. So all I need to do is customer dot address equals my custrec dot bill address, customer dot address 2, and just go through this same process. City, state, zip, and then HAdd. That's all there is to it. Now, what this has done is really made this entire thing very, very easy to work with by consuming in the XSD document, the XML and XSD document. I can blast through the file and nothing flat. Now, all you have to do is then replace the file each time you extract it, or they send you another one in the same directory. When you run the program, it's going to pick up the new version when it does the XML open. Okay, it's gonna when it opens this document here, it's gonna pick up the new version. It's gonna say, well, there's my definition over here. Rock and roll. You go through every process, and you're finished. Now, if anybody has been out there ever done XML before by any other methods, you know that there's usually a lot more to it than this. This is about the easiest way I've ever seen doing XML documents. Absolutely simplistically easy to load in XML documents. Obviously, we can go straight forward. We can do an HRead seek. Seek, Andy. On the customer ID, and look up custrec.rcid. And do an H modify instead. Need to do anything there. And it becomes more of a very simple, straightforward methodology of how to manage your data. Now, obviously, what I do here is HReset. Probably make a few people happy to see me do more H code than SQL code. But the same thing applies. And we go from there. We're off and running. Like I said, it was going to be a short one this morning. Anybody got any questions already?
Nothing out here yet, Andy.
Wow. Can we make it any better than 15, 20 minutes? Did not take up too much of your time today.
So that was it?
That's, I mean, serious, is that as easy as it is? And the reason why I wanted to show this morning is because this is something that I'd ran into. I had done about 30 minutes research on it and came up with this methodology to do it, and it just, okay, you know, because I've known people having to deal with the XML out there. I know that Terry Mulliken does because of MS SQL and things like that. And you want to make it as simplistic as possible. You want to use your tools in your tool chest as much as you possibly can. And I wanted to impart this on there because I think that some of these features may just get totally bypassed. HSave, that's right, you can. That's a new one in 20 is HSave. Thanks, Derek. I forgot about that. That'll do either direction, won't it? Which is great. So,
yeah. Straightforward enough. So you just
all I can say is you got to come to the DEF CON. Amelia Island. I don't want to be lonely.
Yep. Yeah, so do please join us for the.
You got to have enough people there that Tim can afford my drinking bill.
Tequila's expensive, guys. Yeah. All jokes aside, it's the week of October the 5th through the 9th, 2015, in beautiful Amelia Island, Florida. Oh, we have another question here. It's from Derek again. Let's see what he says here. This is reading from anything on writing to?
This is reading from the XML document itself, that LM8 XML document. And let me show you the document itself. It's right here. So there's the extract of the XML document that was given. And so it's reading directly from this data itself. Let me bring it down to the data, and I'll show you. So it's reading this data here. So there's a product table. If we go down further, we'll find the customer table.
Just collapse the product table.
Can I? Yeah, it's up there at the top, isn't it?
Not quicker.
Yeah, you probably would be, wouldn't it? I think it's just one record, though. It's only giving me one record, dude.
Okay. Oh.
But if it has 300, I have to do this 300 times to make
okay.
you happy.
Okay. I thought they had demarcated.
But here's the better way.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Look at there.
Because sometimes I collectively put together all the customer stuff together. I thought they had that.
So here's that
this
first
case
customer.
They didn't. Yeah, this case they didn't. They just put each one on its own.
Yeah.
Without
Yeah, I do that too. Have a order table and then order records underneath. Customer table, then customer records underneath. I do the same thing. That's just one more XML node underneath the node that you're on, and what you have to do if you do that, that would change this aspect here, because instead of saying product table, you would do product table dot product rec.
Yeah, rec. Yeah, or just
record, whatever it is. Now, understand whatever you type in there, guys and gals, it is case sensitive. XML is 100% case sensitive.
Yeah.
So if you spell it with a lower P and that don't work, guess what? You get no data. And you're wondering why. You say, I can't do this. I have no idea. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
It is absolutely that way. And where it's being written to at the moment, Derek, is that there's a file out there, a SQL file in Postgres called SimData. And what it's doing is on a periodic basis, it is reading data from another database and updating data in the SIM database to keep up products and RFID code information is what it's doing. So it's basically synced two different databases together because they don't want direct access to their database, and we really don't want direct access to ours either. So pretty straightforward. But that's it in a nutshell. So remember a couple things. If you have the XSD document, take advantage of the process, the XML and XSD descriptions. Do take advantage of this. It'll make your life much, much nicer, much better. Number two, remember it is case sensitive, easily case sensitive. And don't treat it any much more different than reading and writing code from there from another table, and you're off and running. I managed to get another 15 minutes out of it, Tim.
A good deal. Yeah, we are at. You didn't get. We're 20 minutes past the hour. So.
Okay. What I meant was using the XML structure to create the document. I did not create that. I don't know what created this XML structure. I know there's a lot of tools out there that will create an XSD structure, but this was created by another third-party tool, so that they provided. I don't know where it came from. What we can do is start looking at trying to create an XSD document out of WinDev. That would be nice.
Yeah, I found it quite an easy way. You use a variant variable. And then you, like example, if you say my account and you use a variant, and the next line you say my account dot account number equals whatever the value it is, and then you use variant to JSON or XML function, and then you got your XML data.
That might be something that we need to have a quick 15-minute out of you over, Wolfgang.
Yeah, could do that.
Because the biggest thing is that would work. Does it produce the XSD document?
No, it's just as easy to get it out as getting it in.
Oh, okay. Fine.
I could do that.
Okay, and there was a question here from Derek. I don't know if you answered it or not, but what I meant was using the XML structure to create. Yeah. Yeah. I think we just.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. This is created as creating an XML document out of WinDev is easy. Creating the XSD, I haven't tried yet, but as far as the XML document in WinDev, that is absolutely plainly easy. All I have to have here is an array. So if I say ARCust is array of
and Derek has a little comment while you're typing. You can use this methodology to create an XML doc to send to external sources.
Correct, absolutely. What I do as far as creating documents, let me pull one up here because I actually have one where I've done that. Let me pull up a web service I have going, and I'll show you. There's two different ways to create an XML document. One of the easiest ones in my book is have an array of records, and then you just serialize it. Boom, you've got an XML document you can send to anybody you want. If you're using web services, the latest version of the web services are absolutely a dream to do it because you don't even have to work with it. Okay. What I've got here is a structure called RQ master structure, and the RQ master structure is in the root of this because it is a web service, and I got to declare that or let you go get it is basically what we got to do. So that's what that is, and then all I do is I load the array with the data. That's all I'm doing is loading the array with the data. So now that I've got all the data in here, excuse me, I had a lot of comment lines in there. All I have to do from there is because it's a web service, is actually do the return array. Well, if I'm not in a web service and I have to actually do anything else, if I do a serialize, I do my buffer is buffer, so serialize that data. Actually, it's the other way, isn't it? I don't know why I'm doing it that way. Serialize, you have to tell it what it is. I still have to do the my buffer. The serialize goes to, now it's got to have the buffer here to go to, so. And then you do the JSON, XML, whatever you want it to be, and if I want XML, I'll just do it like that. Now, what contains that right now is this this field right here will hold the XML data right there, and I can just immediately write the whole thing to a file, and I've got an XML document to send out. So it's, in essence, my book, other than filling in the array values, it is absolutely simple to do that. It's basically 2 lines of code. One to declare the buffer it's going to be full in, the serialization, and then you write it out to the file and you're done. So it used to be in web services I had to do this to get it back to me on the other side, but they don't have to do that anymore. Web services allows you just to send it back immediately as the structure itself, and it internally, as part of the result functionality in the web service, automatically makes it an XML document to receive. So a lot of times if you're talking about sending or doing stuff to, if you're going to have a consistent, I'll put it to you this way, if you're going to have a consistent methodology where somebody's going to receive a document from you, say on a daily basis, every other daily basis, or something that they're going to constantly query, my strong suggestion is go ahead and create the web service. Give them the ability to call the web service whenever they want to. If they don't have a method to call the web service themselves, I would then at that point actually, write a little exe for them that actually calls the web service for them. Okay? And it allows me to go on. What you would not get is a complex XML structure. You talking about multiple tables? Well, yeah, you can still do that. In essence, I just reverse the structure or reverse the process. If I need to do multiple files, I would do a my buffer, serialize each one of the arrays, write it out to the file, and then I would have a complex because it would give me that. And if I needed to have a wrapper around this, here, well, I can do it as a string instead of this way. I don't have to have a buffer. I usually use a buffer, but I don't have to have one. So let's try it this way, and I'll show you what I mean. Then I can always go.
Should you not put in apostrophes? This shows a string.
Huh?
Put in apostrophes. There, that's it.
Oh yeah, no, I was going to do that.
Ah, okay.
I always do that afterwards.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And so I've got all of my records for the customer, stuck with, within one area. Then I can do the, you
can add the
add string to,
add an next
F
one,
right,
next one.
Do that function.
Yeah.
And then if I want to do orders, then I can do.
Derek says, as in header plus multiple nodes.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically what I've got here, is because this is the header. Customer and orders is the two headers that you go through, and then you got that. Now, if you need to wrap around the entire thing, well, then you get, obviously you can get more and more complicated, or more and more deals, and it's not entirely hard because you're basically writing an ASCII file. So can I wrap the whole thing and set up the whole thing? Certainly. I can tell it, F right as an example, and I know I don't have the syntax right because I don't have the file, but say, and block to write, but
yeah.
My data XSD.
You can also use the XML functions.
You can certainly use the XML functions.
Yeah.
You can certainly use them. There's quite a few of them. Yeah. But I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't really had to, I used them quite a bit in the beginning, and I know how to use them, but for the most part, I really hadn't had to go through all of the pieces that the XML is there. Now, let's kind of caveat that. It really depends on how complicated you're going to have to do your XML is going to be, okay? If you're writing a fairly simple XML document, we'll say with one or two files, multiple files like that, and you don't have a lot of, child XML nodes going underneath, then in essence, why go through the process? WinDev has always been very good about giving you multiple ways to do the same job, and you can see how their progression of development has happened. Also, they do the same thing as a lot of us do. We rewrite the raw code that we know will work 100% of the time, and then refine it to be more and more, call this function, call that function, call this function. Same thing they're doing. They've given all of the root items to do it, all the XML methodologies to do it with, and if you have to revert to that, it's easily enough to do. But now they have functions to do a lot of things. Serialize, deserialize, PDS XML, binary, JSON, so you can have it, converted to JSON. I mean,
it's easier with each release.
Yeah, I mean, each revision, they make it easier and easier, so you'll see that even though I could write every line of this thing in an XML document, why? Why? I want to make it easy on myself.
Just
I'm an old man.
With XSD, XSD. If you're using the XML save, you have option of telling it to make XSD for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't had to do an XSD yet. That's something that that's probably getting pretty close to my next thing to do, is look at developing XSD myself.
Yeah.
So, which would be nice.
I would more or less be lazy. I would use the variant way and then read it into an XML document and just save it afterwards with XSD option. I'm just thinking about it. That's the way around it.
That's great, and I think that I agree with you. I mean, if there's an XSD option that'll write out the XSD for me, I'll daggum sure use it. I'll be absolutely ready to use it. But we're all about data nowadays. We're all about transferring data, and it's not so much the programming is as important as the ability to get to the data and transferring data between products. I still have to deal with on occasion, or people will ask me on occasion about EDI and things like this, because different things that people go through, and it amazes me in this day, as long as things have been working, why they would even ever still use an EDI document with XML available. I just don't see it. I don't see any reason to do it.
The other popular one is JSON, as you know, so there you go.
Well, yeah, but JSON is what came after XML. So, and I really haven't got too much into JSON as much as like Pete's been in it a little bit more than I have. I haven't had to deal with it. Most people are still sending, that I work with is all XML based, or web services, which is XML based. So the American Litho Pace, it doesn't do JSON, it does XML. So 99% of anything that I work with or fart with has to do with XML.
That's the thing,
It just I haven't been exposed to it very much. Now Pete has been exposed to JSON and worked with it. I actually have a couple, 2, 3 things for JSON that I want to kind of mess with, dealing with different third-party type functionality that's out there that they provide an interface in JSON or XML, and I'd like to kind of experiment with JSON. But it's like anything, R&D is free, and sometimes you run out of time to do it. So.
Yeah, and like Derek says here, learn something today, time to play.
Yeah. You got it.
You've met your objective today, Derek.
I have taught somebody something. I've actually mentioned something that somebody could use. Awesome. My day is now over with. I'm going to go ride my Harley. No, they won't let me. Somebody's not going to let me go ride it. Maybe tomorrow.
There you go.
Other than that, that's all I got for this morning.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
If you have any questions, go ahead and post it out on the group. I also want to say that the group has been phenomenal out there. We're well into the 200 range now on members all over the world. I think that's fantastic. And it is everybody's being very, very good. Very, very good about helping everybody else out, doing what they can, and keeping it professional as we go across. And I really appreciate that. Just want to let everybody know that.
Perfect. Great stuff. No, it's a good resource set too.
Yeah. So all I can say after that is be good or be good at it, and come to the DEF CON.
Yep, the DEF CON is the week of October the 5th through the 9th, 2015, in Amelia Island, Florida. It's 65 days and odd number of hours away, so everybody sign up. It's not too late. www.wxdevcon.com. Thanks a lot.
Bye.